Welcome back to the Devil May Cry playthrough, and welcome to the endgame. Now, before talking about, everything that's going on right now, I at least want to take the time to mention something that I missed in the last part. You see, in the mirror world, there's an item, a weapon that you can get before you get the Philosopher's Stone called the Nightmare Beta. The way the weapon works is that it's a firearm that shoots out lasers that can bounce off walls and enemies. It's really great for increasing your style ranking, but in terms of damage, it's kind of simultaneously both the best and the worst weapon in the game. You see, it uses up your Devil Trigger gauge, so that way it can do more damage. You can charge it up so that way it'll use up more. Now the problem is that the Sparta doesn't use Devil Trigger, so using the Nightmare Beta with the Sparta is virtually pointless. However, if you use it with Alistair or Ifrit, it can probably be the most powerful gun in the entire game if you charge it up right. With that out of the way, let's see what we have here. Quite possibly a boss, since it mentioned... Whoa. Well, this is certainly one trippy-ass room.
Dante, help me!
Dante, help me! It's obviously not a trap! Oh, shit! Although I don't know why they decided to form a force field. I mean, the place is all fleshy and whatnot. You'd think the whole place would try to eat them. And as you would expect, we have a rematch with our old friend Slimy here. Actually named Nightmare, oddly enough. Although I still think these names are kind of odd. I mean, you have a bird thing named Griffin, you have a spider named Phantom, and now you have a slug monster named Nightmare. Oh well. But Nightmare isn't really all that different. Just go in and wail on him as much as you can. Once again, with the Sparta, you'll be able to do some pretty impressive damage. One strategy I forgot to mention, though, I found it odd. I was looking him up on the Devil May Cry wiki. Apparently, Nightmare can actually absorb your Devil Trigger gauge and can actually create his own Devil Trigger form. So, yeah, I guess using the Sparta is actually a really good idea against Nightmare. Yeah, the fight doesn't really get all that different until about halfway through, so it's pretty much just filler meandering. However, I will mention that if Nightmare eats you in this form, in his slime form, you'll do the same thing, you'll take on a group of skulls and then you take on a boss, and that boss is Nello and Gello. Yeah, I totally wouldn't have expected that if, I don't know, we didn't see that in a previous cutscene, that Trish was actually evil. A Hershka derp.
You're so easy.
Trish, you?
I mean, she's only this one woman who just crashed into my shop, threw a motorcycle at me, shocked me numerous times, and I'm only now discovering that she's evil? I mean, what the hell is wrong with me? And apparently Power Ranger poses makes her stronger. Yeah, oddly enough, I'm assuming that now Trish and Nightmare are working as some kind of tag team duo. And this is quite possibly one of the few times I actually use an item in the entire playthrough. Yeah, if you let Trish and Nightmare wail on you too much, they can do some serious damage. But you don't have to worry about Trish, just dodge her lightning every once in a while, just make sure you're not in the same spots and she won't hit you at all. The important thing is trying to take out Nightmare. Just wail on those circle things again, beat him up whenever he reveals his core, and he'll drop dead. However, even with his initial bar depleted, he still has one more chance to try and take you out. He'll go completely apeshit and just fire out lasers randomly out of nowhere. Just try to get to him as quickly as you can. Just beat him down, and that should be it. I'm going to be quiet for a good portion of these cutscenes because the acting is kind of hit and miss. It's especially good in this cutscene, so I'll just stay quiet when it actually starts, that way you can assess what you think of the scene. Game over, yeah! Okay, that was it. Nothing was going on, so I thought I would just at least shutting up now.
Dante! Dante, why did you save my life?
Because you look like my mother. Now get out of my sight. The next time we meet, it won't be like this.
Dante!
Don't come any closer, you devil! You may look like my mother, but you're nowhere close to her. You have no soul. You have the face, but you'll never have her fire!
I give these actors a round of applause, people. They really deserved it with this bit, especially with the music. I'd have to say that was quite possibly one of the few greatest scenes in this game. Yeah, later on, we're not going to get that same type of quality with the voice acting, so enjoy it while you can. Oh, well, not with that little bit of nonsense out of the way. We can deal with the, quite possibly second to last most boring, well, it's the last mission before anything actually happens in the game, story-wise. Oh well, basically the whole mission just revolves around a maze. So all you have to do is go in, notice that there's some kind of core to the side, and the big door, obviously leading to our big boss, is blocked off. Now, oddly enough, this thing right here, even though you're supposed to attack it to open up the door, you see it again, and it's apparently a red fountain in this world. I find it kind of odd. Oh well. I guess I should commentate on the actual underworld itself, because it's actually pretty interesting. I mean, this whole living cave thing with all kinds of bones and demon guts and doors that you have to slice open. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's very Silent Hill-esque, but I'm guessing that it's supposed to emphasize the whole nightmare feeling of the demon world. Oh well, here we are introduced to these tentacle walls that will drain on your health if you let them touch you. All you have to do is just blow them up with your grenade launcher, and they won't really deal all that much damage. Essentially, this whole mission is just one encounter with one of these Silent Hill rejects after another. Just beat on them after a while with the Sparta, they'll drop dead. Of course, you gotta wait for them to explode to death, and then the barrier leading to the next area will close off. Although the one thing about this place is that if you stay still for too long, a hand will come up and do damage to you. It's not like the floor masters from Legend of Zelda that'll take you off to the beginning of the dungeon. They'll just flat out hurt you. And unfortunately, we have to do this thing 3 times before we can move on to a different area. Like I mentioned before, the Silent Hill rejects, they'll do a lot of physical damage to you, but they'll also drop these eyeballs that'll blow up if you get too close to them. But you can shoot them, so that way they won't do damage to you. In their small form, they won't really do that much damage. So just constantly wail on them, eventually they'll drop dead and just move on to the next area. You'll end this mission a lot faster. Although it is pretty easy to lose track of where you're going, since every tunnel looks almost exactly the same. Well, I guess the one thing to remember is that if you go into a large, sort of arena-esque room and there's no enemies, you probably went the wrong way. We just gotta deal with these Silent Hill rejects one more time, and they also have the tentacle walls to try and do extra damage, I guess. And that'll be the end of this bit. Yeah, I know I'm playing on easy mode, but some of these enemies, they don't really seem to be all that hard when it comes to damage dealing. So far, the lizardmen have been the most threatening enemies I've seen in this entire game, and that's mostly because, well, faster, stronger, etc., etc. Well, in here, we deal with our last pair of blitzes in the entire game. Kind of weird, though. Like I said before, just dodge their attacks. Oh my god, one actually transformed. I can't believe it. But anyways. Yeah, in their doppelganger form, I think they use physical attacks and they can use the Alistair. But a few sword swings, not that big of a deal. They'll dodge your gunfire if you try to shoot at them, but... Anyways, this whole bit is all about platforming up to just basically upwards. If you don't see a platform rise up, just wait. Eventually it'll rise up. Now, this is what I was talking about before. In the previous room, this thing opened up the door. But now, it just dropped the red orb. I'm assuming it's supposed to be like, just a waste so that way you could get that last ability you want before you take on Mundus. But, Unfortunately, not much has really happened in terms of, well, stuff. It's pretty much just one final area before you take on Mundus. Okay, now we're almost done with the mission. Now, once we attack this thing, the barrier blocking the giant door will go away. It'll cause the badly textured heart to pump. I don't understand it either. And I'm guessing a heart attack causes mystical demon walls to go away. Okay, whatever. And once we go through that door, it'll be the end of our mission. Once I climb myself back up on this platform. Fucking camera. There we go. That's the end of that mission. I want to thank you for watching, and next time, we're going to start ending Devil May Cry by taking on Mundus. See you later.